But
I'm
not
Tyler.
right. You press that button. That's great. How are you?
Not too bad, huh? Not too bad. There's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
I was looking at the calendar and I was like, "Oh, it's 8 weeks till it's done."
Is it like at what point does it feel like you're kind of? Oh, we'll talk about it in a sec anyway.
Yeah. So, okay, quick preamble. Andy and I are joined here by Jack Thompson, who is, I've just looked at the stats this morning. You're 844,000 meters into an attempt to climb 1 million meters within the calendar year. So you're well on pace. How does it feel to be at this point and 10 months in?
Feels pretty good, huh? Like when I look at that number now, it's like, wow, I've ticked off a fair bit of elevation during the year, and it feels like I'm almost at the end. But then I like the idea of it's still like Everest. It's still 160,000 meters. It's like it feels like the end is close, but it's still a fair way to go in like relative terms. So I'm excited because it feels like it's the grand final season coming, so to speak. But I'm trying to just keep the excitement, wrapped up for now because a lot can happen. Obviously, there's a bit of flu getting around here at the moment, so I'm bunkered down, trying not to get sick, just trying to do my thing and stay healthy.
When Tyler and I talked to you about this originally, I think maybe in March, something like that. It's like 8-9 months ago. That's what I was thinking after we got off the call. I was like, man, one tire blowout on a descent or one bad cold can screw up this whole thing. Like your margins are so thin. Like I'm so gotten to this point. Like you still have your 160,000 meters. That's more than I was just saying to Andy. Like I'm around 100K for the year. So you still have to. You're gonna almost like double what I've done all year in 60 days. It's so crazy.
You know what's funny though? Like during the year, I've never been worried about getting sick or crashing. But now that I can sort of taste the end, I'm starting to get worried. It's like, oh, I don't want it to slip away now.
All these little, right?
Yeah.
At this right now. This is. I don't want any
touching wood.
Yeah.
So, like it must like 840. It must feel like you kind of like you said. You feel like you're getting to the grand final part of it now. Is there a point like is that feeling only just coming now, or was there some point where you thought, okay, I got this? Was it halfway?
I think it was. You know what? The last few weeks, I've actually felt really good on the bike. Like I feel very fresh. I feel very strong. I think that middle section was difficult because it was the middle. And I think probably the last, let's say with like 10 to go is probably a fair number. I think getting to that 10 and then sort of realizing, oh, it's single digits, like that was a pretty good milestone. And that then seems manageable because it's not like in the middle of the year when it was, oh, I've still got 23 to go. Like that's still a big number. And I prefer not to even think about it or try and comprehend what that means. But I think now 10, like I think back to when I'd done 10 and that was only just the beginning. And so I'm trying to put it into perspective for myself. 10 left. I think I have 9 left now, or 8 left. That feels pretty bloody good.
Because with a single Everesting, like we always talk about the fact that from about like 6,000 meters to about 8,000, say, you're definitely in the doldrums, the death zone, so to speak, if you're using the mountaineering terminology, where things are mentally tough, physically you're broken and everything. I just can't and that lasts for a couple of hours in a single Everesting, which is bad, right? It's everyone who's done it knows that period. I just can't imagine that going on for like several months. It's so hardcore.
You know what the worst part of the week is like Thursday night, the night before I do another one. And I'm generally, because I've done all the climbs locally and a goal is I want to do a different climb every time. So I'm now traveling to get to a climb and it's getting cooler and I'm trying to find climbs that are sort of safe, not too cold, not too far away, has accommodation. The night before I'm generally alone, like on the night. previous. Like I've driven for an hour and a half to get there, and I'm sitting in a hotel room thinking, oh, I've got to do it all again tomorrow. Let the alarm set for 4 a.m. It's very mentally hard, and I try not to even think about it.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. Like everyone that's done an Everest gets to that point where it's that death zone, or it's that, it's that zone where you think, I've done a big chunk, but I still have a big chunk to go. And yeah, week after week, I think that's quite taxing. I think that's something I didn't think I never even considered, but it's something now that I really think it takes its toll mentally on me.
Also, I guess for most people, when they're like, part of the joy of Everesting, I think, is the window shopping you do for the hill itself or the mountain that you're going to complete an Everesting on. But it is somewhat of not quite a unicorn, because obviously there's lots of hills out there, but at the same time, like, there's a fair bit of consideration, like you said, something safe, something that's not too technically demanding, something that's interesting, something that doesn't have too much traffic, somewhere where the temperature is going to be right. Like there's definitely like there's a ingredients list that kind of needs to go into that hill choice. So to do that on 52 different it's pretty incredible. Have any of those been sort of on a whim? I think I remember reading about one recently where you changed your mind quite late on the piece, or are they all pretty planned?
No, a lot of them are like the night before I'm looking, and I still haven't picked one, or the day before. And then I'm like, I need to book somewhere to stay for the night. And that's sort of like, you have to decide now. But I did get a bit organized this week, over the weekend, and I've planned out on paper the next 8 or 9. And I'm sort of hopeful that I can stick to that plan, weather pending, because it would just take a big stress off each week having a plan.
Do you have anything kind of like in mind for those, either the final Everesting or those final meters when you tick it over?
Yeah, we're planning something for the final one here in Girona.
You can't say anything, that's cool, but like, when
No, I could say, because maybe it gives people an opportunity to get involved, but we want to do like a massive group participation style Everest, and try and, as a group, if we can climb 1 million meters. So it's like there's like the team behind trying to climb the 1 million meters to show what's possible, like as a team. And, it relates back to mental health, having people around you, supporting you. And it shows, it's taken me a whole year, but if we all get together and we can do it in one day, like, how special is that? And we can celebrate it together. So, I mean, you boys get the flights booked for Girona and come on up.
If it goes without saying that I'm sure the community would love to kind of join you in doing that virtually as well from their own little locations around the world. And I'm assuming that's going to be like the last week of December, correct?
I'm actually going to try and do it the week before. So I'm going to try and finish a week early.
You're earning yourself a week off?
Because I'm going back to Australia and Perth's flat. So I don't want to be doing it there.
Fair enough. Awesome. That's cool. Well,
so 17th of December is the date we're looking at.
Okay.
We'll be sure to share all the details of that event via our channels. And
yeah, that'd be great.
That's able to will be there in a heartbeat for you. And anyone that can't, just know that wherever we are around the world, we'll be supporting you in this. And I guess that's kind of the reason behind that 20K week that we did as well, is just to kind of let you know that there's this community that really believes in what you're doing. And again, like, we know, we can comprehend how physically tough it is, but the mental aspect of it is just enormous. So we just wanted to do that to let you know that there's a community that's got your back.
Thanks. It was actually great fun having people, not just here in Spain locally doing it, but there was people in Hong Kong, there was people in the States, people down in Australia like yourself, and it was actually really fun. Obviously, we're all in different time zones, so logging onto Strava each day and saying, Andy's done another 3,000 meters, or, Dan's done another 6,000 in Canada. And it was actually really, it felt like I had the community behind me. Not that I was riding with them, but, I felt like they were a part of what I was doing, and that was great.
And let me tell you this, that, and again, we wanted to do that to support you and I guess support the amazing charities, and we should talk about that in a minute. But I guess part of it also, when you talk about 1 million meters of vertical in a year, it's difficult, even as kind of avid hill climbers, and obviously our community are exactly that. It's really difficult to kind of get your head around and grasp those numbers because they're just so monumentally large. So a big part of why we wanted to kind of undertake just 1 week of your training load was to I guess put some perspective around what that number looked like. And I think myself included, like I'm pretty sure Pete and I were just talking about this before. I'm pretty sure if I haven't done 20K in a week, it's been like super close one way or the other, just once or twice in my life. So I basically had to train up to do like the hardest week of my life, which is 1/52 of what you're doing.
That's what I like. It just to attempt it, like you're getting out of bed on Monday morning and you're like, oh no, and just obsessed with elevation, like right away. I can't believe that you've spent a year in that torture chamber. Like, it's unbelievable that you've done
This
that.
morning was a pretty good example. I woke up and I was like, like, and on a Monday I always feel shocking because I've had a day off on a Sunday, and I'm like, whoa, and like, just like, I feel like I've gotten slower. Well, my body's slower to wake up now, and it's like every Monday it takes like it takes the whole session really to be like, all right, I'm ready to go again for another week. And yeah, like, how did you find, Andy, like, what were your biggest take homes from doing the 20,000 meters? Like, were the things you realized that you didn't think of, or were the things that caught you off guard?
Yeah, so I went in so my plan was a big front loaded ride, which is, I guess, your equivalent of the Everest. So I wanted to do 10K on day one. And to be really clear, you're doing these outdoors, like you're doing prop ones because of life and everything.
Sure.
I had to do a good chunk of it, like more than half, probably 2/3 of it I did on Zwift online. But that said, like I wanted to kind of front load it, do 10,000 on that first day. And again, this is my psychological advantage that I wanted to carry through the week. So 10,000 day one, 1,000 meters every other day, 1,000, that's not so hard. And then it leaves just 5,000 on the final day, which is still like a big old day out. And I knew that if I could get ahead on those 1,000-meter days, like just a couple of 100 meters each day, I'd be chipping away at that final load on the final day. And I guess that's how I kind of approached it. But man, the thing that really stood out to me was how consistent you need to be. And I guess I was fitting it in around my life as well. So
Sure.
my work hours, and I still was dropping off the kids at school and stuff like that. But I really had to kind of sneak meters wherever I could. So it also meant that I'd do a little session in the morning, but then after dinner, I'd want to kind of jump online and do another couple of meters.
Yeah.
I guess that's where like the biggest question for me out of the week was, you do an Everesting every week, but how do you kind of handle your smalls? Like how do you make up the remainder of that 20K load every week? Where does that come from?
So I'm a bit the same as you. Like, I like to try and front load the week a little bit, and then I taper, and I guess to the actual Everest on the Friday. So and I've increased it a little bit in the last few weeks because I'm trying to build up a bit of extra so that I can have the final week off. But like a Monday's 3,000 meters, a Tuesday 3,400, and a Wednesday 3,000. So I try and get a good, close to 10,000 in first 3 days of the week. And then I have a little break and I'll do a 1,500 meter day the day before an Everest. And that just allows me to freshen up ever so slightly. And it's also great because it means I can go to the shops, do my shopping, like plan where I'm going to do the Everest, pack the car, do all that stuff, and then drive there. And then actually the Everest day, I don't think is the worst. I almost think the Everest day is almost like the reward. It's like I've got those first 4 days out of the way. I just have to get through today, and then I get the weekend. And it's nice that I've tried to structure it so I can live a normal weekend as well, like with my partner, I can spend time with her Saturday and Sunday. And so when I actually get to the Everest, I almost like take a bit of a sigh of relief, and it's like, oh, we've made it here again. Like, I just have to get through today. And then the following day is like a 1,000-meter recovery day. Just go out and try and enjoy riding the bike again. And like, I do still love riding the bike. I don't hate the bike at all, but I am ready to do some flat rides.
Like that. Yeah. But the Everest becomes somewhat escapist compared to the rest of it, right? Out there, you get to be in a little bit of solitude and stuff.
Yeah. Because I think, and maybe we can touch on it later as well, the hard thing this year has been not necessarily the riding, it's everything around the riding. So the fundraising, the, like, it sounds like silly things, but like jumping on a call and chatting with a sponsor or something, like they all take energy. And
so does this, right? You make a lot of things.
But then when I actually get to the Everest day, I know that I've got no other commitments that day. I've just got to ride my bike. I'm generally alone. I put on some good music and I'm like, this is like meditative. Like, I really enjoy the time alone. And like, I do enjoy doing them with other people as well. But the time alone is like, it's a time for me to reflect, maybe on the week, maybe on what's coming up. Like, it's just time in my own head, and I do really enjoy that. And so the Fridays become, escapism.
I think you've just summarized why all of us escape on a bike a little bit, for that time in your own head and your own space. And I think that's why it is so wonderful and restorative, and how wonderful that you get to do that every Friday for a week.
I'm not going to miss it when I don't have to do it, but I'll find other ways of doing it.
So I've never actually been able to find a definitive answer if we know what the elevation gain record is for a year. But I'm assuming you already have it well at hand, I would imagine. I don't know. Have you ever been able to find that out?
Look, to be honest, I've seen online people have done 1 million before, from what I can see.
Really?
Yeah, but how much was that virtually?
I'm not sure. Like, that's what I'm unsure of.
Oh, and like either way, like
yes, that's even if it was all virtual, it'd be incredible. But I mean, I think I've heard of most pros doing maybe 400,000. So anybody doing 1 million is. I think
Richie Port last year did 650,000.
Yeah, right.
And I think I read something, maybe it was on Cycling Tips, that was his biggest year elevation wise ever. I did see somebody tagged me in something that said a guy had done like over 2 million, but how's
that possible?
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
That can't be right. That can't be.
I just can't imagine doing double this every week.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you're already. I've got the numbers here. I mean, you've ridden almost 1,300 hours this year.
Yeah.
Like this is a full-time job. Like if you do the math, it's absolutely. It's insane. So how are you planning on easing your way out of this? Like, you can't quit this thing cold turkey. It'll be like stopping heroin. You can't, like, you've got to wean yourself off this a little bit, I think.
Look, it's a good question. So I'm going to be in Australia for the last week, and I want to do some rides with like friends, family. I've not been back for 3 years. So I'm really looking forward to doing some more social stuff. Getting on the gravel bike, getting on the mountain bike, going out with my old man and enjoying it for a little while. I'll then come back to Girona in the middle of Jan, and I'm going to just have a couple of weeks completely off the bike, maybe do something silly like go skiing and, risk injuring myself. No, but go and do something different, go and just enjoy not having to be on a bike. And then next year I've got plans already, nothing crazy next year.
Relatively, right? You mean?
No, I need a bit of rest. Like, I really need the body to rest and recover. And I need to take that quite seriously, because I think this year is definitely, like, I look at myself now talking to you, and I've aged. Like, I can actually see it.
Oh man, sorry, my dog's making a quick appearance here. You look You look fresh, man. I can't believe it. I was expecting you to look a little more haggard than you do. You look
Like
great.
I said, it's the filter, mate. It's the filter.
No, I
But
think
then 2024 is going to be a really big year. So I'm sort of preparing for something in 2024. So year of just chilling, and then I'm going to ramp it right up in 24.
okay. I'm interested to see what a year of chilling looks like for you, but okay.
Yeah, easy.
So I had an idea because I was pretty inspired by everybody's support of it. I mean, how many people joined the Strava Club? Almost 500 people.
500, yeah.
Yeah, like this is not
Right.
a league ride. Like that's for 500 people to do that is insane. And unfortunately, because of my own circumstances, I wasn't able to attempt it that week. So I feel indebted to you two in particular, but the whole community. I feel like I owe you all a 20,000 meter week.
You do.
So I'm going to find to make that work because I can't leave that box unchecked. But it occurred to me with that design, with the brain and the cyclist going like it, I feel like it needs to live on. So can we make Sherpa Week an annual thing? But can we do it with can we do like the full jack? That's the 20,000 meters, and then like a half jack, which is like 10,000, and like a quarter jack, something like that. So that people who are like, oh, I can't do 40 hours, but look at the strength in numbers, right? When we start to pull people together, and I hope that it had an impact on the financial side of the fundraising piece. But what if that 500 people could be 5,000 people next year, right? If we can make that challenge a little more bite-sized for people to what they could do and make it live on. So there's my inspiring thought.
I'll be down. I'll do another one. You wrote me in.
Yeah. That's a cool legacy item as well out of all of this, and tied in with Mental Health Awareness Week or whatever it might be. That'd be really cool.
Totally.
Yeah, why don't we do that in October? We could tie it in with that week again.
Yeah, we'll just do it every October. October works in most parts of the world. So, and then based on what people are able to do, they can participate in it, right? And there's no doubt that people who had never heard of you or heard of this challenge or even heard of Mental Health Week heard of it because of other people doing this, right? So you just never know how we can make things go viral. So, I think that's amazing. So as you wind it down, there's probably a number of companies and people that you'd like to give shout outs to for supporting you this year? Who can we thank?
Yeah, like the list of partners is like just Specialized, Velocio, BBB, Wahoo, Super Sapiens, Goo, Raval. They've been in my corner all year. I'm lucky to have good equipment. I've been through a lot of equipment this year. I was on a call with a guy doing an interview before, and I worked out I'd been through over 40 sets of brake pads.
Wow.
This year. So I've snapped 6 chains. So like it's little things that I just didn't expect. I didn't think about brake pads on January 1. I didn't think about chains. It's just like consumables. I'm going through them like blocks of chocolate.
And you at one point switched to more of a hybrid bike with flat bars, right? Was that just to give your upper body a little bit of a different position to sit in?
So I wanted to do a gravel Everest,
okay.
And I was just like, I'm not a gravel cyclist. Like I haven't done a lot of stuff on the gravel, and I was conscious that I really don't want to hit the deck. And I thought, if I put some flat bars on the gravel bike, maybe that'll give me a bit more stability going up, but also going down. And I did a couple of gravel Everests on it, but I've actually since put it back to normal drop bars. I just found the position, my wrist got quite sore on the flat bars all day. And I'm just used to being in the road position. So I've gone back to the road bars, and I was actually out today trying to find a couple of little gravel climbs. So might have to get that one out again.
Squeak one more in.
Yeah.
So you've done 44 Everests this year.
I've done 43 now.
43. Oh, in a year.
Yeah.
That's got to be a record, Andy, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Not even close, right?
I don't even need to think about it. No, that's
yeah.
amazing.
Well, you're going to be creeping up on the all-time lead here pretty quick at that rate.
Yeah.
What is
you've got a few in the bag already.
But the old time's around 100, yeah?
Yeah, it's over 100.
I think, yeah, 130 or something like that. Yeah.
Monster.
So shout out to John O'Egan if he's listening, who that record currently belongs to, and he's coming back fast and furiously from a bad injury, Everesting naturally. So, but
Well,
I think we're going to see his numbers go back up pretty quick because I don't think he can stay away from the challenge for very long.
No, that's mad. Good on him.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So listen, you guys, thank you for doing this. I wanted to get everybody on, and Jack, like I speak for the whole community. We're just completely in awe of what you've done here. Super, all the attention and support, man. Like super, super inspiring. It gets people talking, and people are definitely getting helped by it. So, I mean, like regardless of where, you ultimately land in terms of fundraising goals and stuff, you are absolutely impacting people. Like I can tell you that firsthand, and I know that Andy can too. We both heard lots of stories, and I just get random people reaching out to me saying, hey, because of Jack, I'm doing this or that, and like people you don't even know of that you're inspiring. So know that it's work. And just thank you so much for making some more time to chat with us.
No, thank you guys, and thanks for your support. I remember when I first heard about the Everesting concept, and never would have thought I'd be doing one every week. So thanks to you, Andy.
Sorry.
Andy needs to apologize to a lot of people.
Next week, I'm going up to Ireland to do an Everest with Ronan.
So good. Yeah, Ronan's obviously great friend of Everesting and current record holder. So, but also like he's a colleague of mine in my real life. So that's awesome. Ronan's a great guy.
I'll say good day for you. We'll have to do a potty after he's torn my legs off.
That'd be so good.
Yeah, I want to hear. I want to hear about that.
Ronan is the biggest sandbagger you'll ever hear.
I hope he's listening to this.
Yeah. I'll say that to his face.
He's speaking of people coming back from injuries, though. Ronan had a pretty nasty one there too, but he seems like he is all the way back. So, are you going to try and get him to take a little more relaxed approach to the Everesting?
100%. He's going to go easy on me.
Is he doing a full Everest with you as well?
Yeah, and I'm not sure where we're doing it yet. So I've actually said to him, "Don't tell me. Let's just have a surprise."
Yeah, cool.
So let's see what happens.
Okay, but that is happening in Ireland.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I kind of hope he takes you to Maymore Gap where he set the record, but
let's see. Yeah, I said to him, "I'm happy to do it, but I appreciate maybe you don't want to do it again."
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, that's cool.
Okay, well, I'm excited to hear about it. So maybe I can have, if I'm lucky enough, I would love to have you both on and hear all about that too. You guys keep the rubber side down and just get to that 1 million, man, and then just go enjoy a little bit of time off and recover.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks Jack.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, guys. See ya.
Thanks heaps for that.
No